Hello, everyone. Munchables here. How's it going? Today is the 21st of June. It is 7:40 a.m. I got about 5:30 this morning to film the last hit with Lyric before he has to go and get ready for the cast. So I'm a little bit sleepy, not going to lie. But I figured while I'm awake and I ain't got anything to do and LPL's not started yet, I'm going to do the first episode of Ask Munch Mondays. I tweeted about this the other day. You can see the tweet here. Basically, probably every other Monday, maybe once a month, depending on demand, I'm going to answer questions from the community. You can ask me about LPL. You can ask me about myself. You can ask me about whatever you want. If I don't want to answer, I just won't. So ask away, right? Generally speaking, I want to try and focus on LPL and on esports, but if you want to ask me something about my history or my thoughts on something, then fire away. For this episode, it's my first one, so I'm kind of just going to wing it a bit. I'm just going to go down the list of questions. Basically, I have a channel on my Discord server that has all of the... you can just post the questions in there, and then what I'm hoping is that when people post a question in there, if people like that question, they'll react to it with a bunch of emotes, and the ones with the most emotes, I will then answer on stream or on the video. So, since I'm rambling already, let's get into some of the answers, shall we? That sounded like Josh Weissman, is it? The cooking guy? So let's do this, shall we? Anyway, I'm getting a bit weird now, aren't I? Does tend to happen. All right, so first question from SKT Creator is LNG winning worlds question mark. I'm going to go with a no in the short term, but I'm going to add the caveat of remains to be seen. Basically, the way I stand with LNG right now, like my general perspective on this team is, yes, they're real good. Yes, it's very exciting right now. They're 5-0 in the LPL and against some decent teams. My big concern for LNG is that, first off, a couple of the players on their lineup have historically been very inconsistent. Looking at Icon specifically there, I think he's the biggest standout. But also, their top laner is a little, I don't know, untested doesn't seem like the right word. And I have historically been very excited for Natural or Ally. But I've never seen him perform consistently in the past. The thing is, he's never been on good teams in the past, right? So he's never had a chance to perform consistently. But certainly there's a caveat there of, like, will he be able to perform consistently? Same thing for Icon. Maybe I've just been, like, Icon's not been on good teams the last couple of splits, right? So it's difficult to judge him in isolation there. And it does feel like he's a lot more motivated on this team. So it's very possible that this is a good team properly for the whole split. Right now, very much a good team. My concern is whether or not they can keep that up, and that's not something that will be solved via speculation. That's something we're just going to have to wait and see. But if they get to playoffs and they're still looking really good, I genuinely think this is a team that could actually fight for top 4, which is crazy to say when you think how stacked the LPL is right now. But there's a lot of teams that are not performing. RNG is not performing. Top Esports isn't performing. IG isn't performing. Suning isn't really performing. JDG isn't really performing. So when you consider all of these, even FPX have had some pretty shaky games. When you consider all of those teams not firing on all cylinders right now, LNG definitely a shoe-in. But if all of those teams start to get really good again, it's going to be a lot more difficult for LNG to be able to top the table. So the next question, are we getting an Afro Munch or a Mohawk Munch? Absolutely not. Next question. What was something you didn't expect about casting LPL? Good question. This is from Juaco. I don't know if I'm saying that right. So I guess the biggest thing I didn't expect from casting LPL was, well, in the first split was just the sheer workload. The first split was mental. But partly that was just, we were all kind of new to the whole thing. So we didn't know how to manage the workload well. And on top of that, there was just so many games. And when you're going from, I was going from being a freelancer, and I'd worked in esports in jobs where you're kind of expected to work 24/7 before. That's not a new thing for me. And it's not an uncommon thing in esports, unfortunately. But this was different because it was like the first time I was tested on how passionate are you really, right? Because when you're casting because you love casting, right? My philosophy here is I'm doing this because I adore casting. I adore League of Legends. Like I want to do this instead of doing a real job as long as I can, basically. Because why on earth would I want to work in the real world when I have the opportunity to talk about League of Legends for a living? It's actually insane, right? But the first year of LPL was a mix of like excitement that I was doing that full time in a major region. How hype is that? Combined with some negative feedback on Reddit and things like this, or just not feeling like I didn't exist at all in the community. And then on top of that, like this insane workload and the stress that came with that, the stress of trying to perform every single time, which especially when you're a bit greener around the ears is a lot of pressure. I feel less of that these days because I feel like I'm more established. So I think just the amount of like, I guess, emotional strain in the first couple of splits of LPL was a lot more than I expected coming into the job, which partly is down to just myself and how I, everyone is different in how they approach workloads and things, and I think I definitely don't have the best way of approaching stress, so I think that's definitely a big part of it. But yeah, it was very stressful, but also just I think the insane level of playoffs games late on in playoffs, the series you get are just mind blowing. It's just so much fun. It is so much fun. All right, the next question: who are your favorite play-by-play and favorite color casters, even from non-league? That's a good question. So I think Henry G definitely up there, Machine definitely up there from CS:GO. I really like Vicious Vish. I don't know if people know him. He's a Smash Bros commentator. I don't know how much of an overlap there is between my audience and his, but I used to work with the guy. I listened to a bunch of his commentary back then, and I just think he's so funny. I think he's absolutely hilarious. I guess the other big ones. I kind of don't want to talk about favorites within League of Legends because I feel like I know these people and I don't want to be a dick. But I guess let's go historic then, and then I can't mess it up, right? I'll go with the caster that I would like to work with the most. Which I think would have to be probably Kobe, because it just seems like so much fun to cast with him. He seems like he's such a good banter. And the reason I've said it like that is because I've already cast with a lot of the color casters in the scene, so I've kind of removed potential offense there. So if I've already casted you, you didn't qualify. There we go. And I'm going to skip out on the conversation of play-by-plays because I don't know. I don't want to judge between my colleagues, really. Why does LWX int so hard? Great question, Mimu. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know. That finals, I don't know what happened to him. I think they should have gone to MSI. And yeah, I don't know. LWX and Crisp as well had a really, really rough end to the split. Who's your favorite ranked duo that doesn't cast the LPL? My favorite ranked duo that doesn't cast the LPL, Mr. Dutch Sauce, is a guy called Alan. I didn't go to school with him, but he went to a school near my school. We used to play World of Warcraft 2v2 arena together. He will always, deep down, be my duo buddy. We played a bunch of League of Legends back when Samsung White won Worlds, and we were playing Twitch Thresh every single game. We were watching Imp and Marta VODs to try and like emulate what they did. We got to plat together. Yeah, that he was definitely the best duo. And I occasionally play with him. He's now way better than I am. He's like high diamond, I think, and he like rarely plays, and he still gets high diamond. But yeah, really, really funny guy. Really, really good duo. Sorry, Dutch. I know you were fishing there, but I'm giving you a genuine answer. Based on current form and schedule, what 4 teams do you think will go to Worlds? Whew, that's a tough one. Right now, I'm not going to take current standings too much into account because I think like teams like RNG, teams like Top Esports are inevitably going to be making it towards the top again. I think the 4 teams, in no order, I'm not going to try and figure out seeding. EDG definitely makes it. I think Top Esports definitely makes it. I do think RNG will get back on form, and I think they'll make it. And then the 4th team is where it gets really hard. I'm still going to say... I'm going to say WE. I don't know if that's just pure hopium, but I genuinely think this team has a massively high ceiling. I can see that team making it. And people are going to flame me for that, but I don't care. I believe in WE. Who would you choose for your ideal LPL super team? So me and Lyric actually did. If you check out the new episode of The Last Hit, it will be out on the 22nd of June. Episode 2, me and Lyric actually do a little draft off, which was not like super team, but it was like we had to. It's off of the tweet that Mullyboom put out with the chart saying how much players cost and stuff, and then we did a little in-game draft as well, which was quite cool. That was a lot of fun. So if you're interested in this kind of stuff, do check that out. Off the top of my head, I mean, I'd have to think about that a lot to give you a really solid answer. But if you're just going for pure star power, I think Nuggery is top lane. I think that's kind of unarguable. I think Zoom is the only other top laner that really challenges him. I think in the jungle, I think I would put Karsa. I believe in Karsa, dude. I think Karsa is actually insane. I think Karsa's super underrated, even though he's like a legendary jungler. I think for some reason people still don't believe in him. And because I have Karsa there, I feel like I can go for Knight, because Knight demands a lot of resources, but I think Karsa can give him them. For AD carry, I'm sorry, Jackie Love, it's not going to be you, sir. It's got to be Viper. Viper's just a fucking machine. Actually, no, do you know what? Abel. Let's go Abel. I'm putting Abel in my AD carry position. Maybe that's a little overkill. Maybe I'm just going off of the hype of the current standings and how they've been playing. But Abel is popping off, man. But if Abel starts to suck, then it's obviously Viper. I think Viper is the best AD carry in the league, but Abel is the guy that I'm excited about right now. And then in support, you put Ming, obviously. There you go. That's my super team. Where's the next question? Who are currently, out of the EU teams, the best chance to win Worlds? I mean, obviously, there's the conversation of G2. I think Rogue look really, really good. Let me have a quick look at the LEC standings real quick. I do apologize. I'll wait for that to load. Oh, Misfits are looking really good as well, right? But I don't know how convinced I am that they're going to win Worlds, you know. I don't know. Like, look, I'm going to be totally honest. I don't think Europe is winning Worlds. Like, it's honestly that simple for me right now. I think of any of the European teams, I would say G2 is still the team that I think has the highest chance. Like, just off of raw star power alone. But, I don't know. I don't... As of right now, I don't have a lot of faith in any of the European teams to win the World Championship. I certainly don't think that this is... I don't think any team is in the kind of form that G2 was in 2019 when they had a real shot and they got fucking slammed in the finals. With the fact that summer right now for LEC, level of gameplay looks a little dicey, even at the top of the table. So I don't know. I'm not convinced that the European teams can contest this year. I think we'll probably get a European team in like the semi-finals, but I think it'll likely be either 2 LPL or LPL and a Korean team. I don't know. Like Damwon seem to be struggling Korea, so I don't know who, but um, I think EU are going to be a bit of an underdog at Worlds this year. Charlie as a dog says, "Why does no one love me, dude? Everyone loves you. You're the best." Okay. Governor asked me, "Why are you hard stuck gold?" Because I fucking suck. All right, and also because I play stupid stuff instead of just. I could just spam Ziggs, and I'm pretty sure I could get to plat. But Ziggs gets boring after like 2 games, so then I lock in Aurelia, and then I absolutely sprint it, and then it's a tragedy. How'd you get into playing League of Legends? How did you get into playing League in gold? What does that even mean? I think that's just another roast. If you weren't casting League, what currently active game would you want to cast? That's a tough question. So, let's go on games that I enjoy as opposed to games that I think would be successful for me career-wise. Because career-wise, obviously the answer would be like CSGO or something. But realistically, I don't play much CSGO. I play it occasionally, but not really. Not anymore, anyway. Games that I'd be interested in casting are like Wild Rift, but obviously that's League of Legends as well, so I feel like that's kind of a cheat answer. I actually really liked casting Hearthstone, so probably Legends of Runeterra, because I don't really play Hearthstone anymore, but I really like Legends of Runeterra, so I guess that's on the list. TFT is kind of fun to cast, but I don't really know the game well enough. Yeah, I don't know. I think League of Legends is just the one for me. That's just where I'm at home right now. The Witcher, if there's ever any... Do you know what? Dark Souls PvP. Let's fucking go. I'm there. You hit me with the Dark Souls esports PvP. I'm there. Do you approach the cast differently depending on your color caster for the day, and if so, how? I guess a little. Not in a massive way. Like the biggest like ritual that we have to do is we have to prepare our own A block. So all of the graphics you see before the games, those are prepared by the casters. Not physically, not like we do the photoshopping, but we choose what stats we want, we choose what players we want to talk about, and build the narrative. So how those meetings are structured and how they work depends on the color caster. Like when I'm doing it with Dagda, we kind of both go in and have a big ideas discussion on what we can do, how we can make it funny, like what the story we want to tell as a pair. We kind of do the whole ideation together. Whereas when I'm doing it with Lyric, it's more like he already knows who he wants to talk about and what he wants to talk about most of the time. And my job is more about helping set the structure for the segment and helping add humor and interest to that and make it into a segment that flows well. So it's kind of like with Lyric brings the raw stats and information and like the actual content itself, I guess. And I like spruce that up and make it look pretty and make it good, make it entertaining. Whereas with me and Dagda, it's more like a team effort on all parts of that. So I guess there's like a minor difference there, but realistically, it's not that different, to be honest. I'm trying to like think of how it's different to give you guys an idea of how it works. But generally speaking, in terms of prepping for the cast, I kind of prep mostly by myself for my actual cast anyway, so it doesn't change that much. When will you finally make the move to CSGO casting, the superior esport? Well, I used to cast CSGO, mate. This is from Scorch, my mate. And to be honest, the CSGO community never really liked me. And to be honest, I don't really like the vibe of the CSGO community a lot of the time. They're very aggressive. Um, I don't think, even if I wanted to, I don't think I could succeed in Counter-Strike. So I'm just not even going to try. Also, I'd rather do League of Legends, to be brutally honest. I I don't think that's that surprising. I work in League of Legends. Uh, what characters from other video games would you like to see adapted into League of Legends? That's a great question from Cantalus. Phew, I have no idea. I would like to see a Warlock from World of Warcraft in League of Legends. The biggest gap in the market for me in League of Legends is dot based, like cool Warlocky shit. I feel like there is nothing really like that. There's like Malzahar, but it's just like one dot. There's Cassiopeia, but it's just like one dot within. The dot's not even the interesting part of her kit. Swain used to be that, but he got reworked. I would love for there to be some kind of interactive dot type thing. So you know how Warlocks in World of Warcraft can like soul swap and change who their dots are on and this kind of thing? I would love to see something like that where it's a bit more, less about just put a dot on and watch the health bar tick down, much more about like, if your dot is on someone, then this ability does this, or, you know, a little bit more interactive, a little bit more like, maybe you can swap dots between targets. Maybe your dot has like AP breakpoints where it now becomes a silence or what. Like I don't know. But just like an interesting kind of Warlock style champion. I'm aware that we are 20 minutes into this video already. We are getting to the end of the list though, so I'll just finish off and then we'll be good to go. How do you and the team feel about remote casting from your home countries now rather than in studio in Shanghai? Have you run into many technical issues with it? Yes and yes. So I feel fine. Like, I don't hate casting from home. But it is inevitably worse than casting in a studio, right? In a studio, you're with the person that you're casting with. There's, like, physical... I want to say banter there. That didn't make any sense, but like being able to do hand signs and show that you want to speak, and like there's a lot of silent communication that happens between casters in a cast, but also just like being there with your buddy does make a big difference. Like not having a half-second delay between when I say something and then I hear Dagda respond makes a big difference. Like, I can very confidently kind of augment what Dagda is saying by interspersing bits when we're there live. It's much harder to do online, and it's much harder to have an idea of whether your guy is interrupting you or just adding to what you're saying, right? These kinds of things are very difficult online. And if you've got body language in there, it's really easy to understand what they're trying to do, especially if you know the person well. And on top of that, just like issues with microphones and things. Like I've had to spend a lot of money on audio gear to be able to do it from home, which I secretly really wanted to do anyway. But yeah, being in a studio where they just deal with all that stuff for you is nice. And just like I miss the kind of getting dressed up to go to the studio and someone doing makeup for you and all this kind of stuff, and like being able to get a second opinion on how this suit is going to go with this tie and stuff like that, because that's definitely not my forte. Having other people to defer to with that stuff is a luxury that I could really get used to, and I miss it. Any advice for up-and-coming play-by-play casters that just graduated and now probably has to give up on his hopes and dreams, asking for a friend? This is from Dutch Source. My advice is message everybody you know asking for gigs. Do not be afraid. Do not be ashamed to ask for gigs. Nobody, like, I think one of the big things people, and certainly I did when I was trying to become a professional, was I'd done a gig, and so I knew about me, and the people I did that gig for knew about me, and the natural assumption was that, yeah, I'm a guy in the scene now. Most of the people hiring probably watch all of the other events in the scene, right? Wrong. Most of the people that are hiring casters, generally speaking, like in my experience, a lot of product managers are not really in touch with the scene that well. A lot of them really don't, like, they'll be in the scene, but not in the way that you're thinking, not in the way that fans of the scene are. Like, they don't know every name, they don't know all of the people. So go out of your way to talk to these people, find ways to connect with people that potentially can give you gigs. Just do as much casting as you can. Also, start doing it on your Twitch channel, start doing it on your YouTube channel, get it out there, put a post on Reddit saying, hey, I'm looking for feedback, what do you guys think? That is how I got some of my first gigs, was posting on Reddit. There's a lot of ways you can make noise, find ways to make noise, and maybe you just, like, I did some casting earths for a bit, and I managed to persuade the OBC guys and some of the CG guys to do an earth together so I could cast it. That was great. It was just a stupid idea. I put it on YouTube. It got like 1,000 views, which at the time for me was unbelievable. In fact, for me now, it's still kind of a good view count. Most of my videos don't hit 1,000 views, so like a cool idea like that can kind of get you on the map a bit. And in terms of like work versus casting, just try and do your best to get time off when you can, when there's a gig coming up. Other than that, I don't know what to tell you. I worked in Subway on a 0-hour contract so that I could cast. But I'm a little crazier than most. If you could take one player from each region, including minors, to build a team, what would it be? Whew. Well, we can go with Nuguri from Korea, Karsa from Taiwan, Knight from China, what AD carry do we get? I guess Reckless from Europe. And then does Core JJ count as an American? What support do I get when I've already got China, Korea, etc.? Hang on. I need to quickly look at the MSI teams. Does Hong Kong count as a different region to Taiwan? Because they're both PCS, right? I guess not. I guess Vulcan, maybe? I don't know. I've not been watching LCS. So, yeah, I guess we just go Vulcan as my last pick. As a follow-up question, kebab or pukabai? Kebab every day. It's not even hard. Have you met all the English casters, interviewers, hosts from the other major regions? Who have you not met that you'd like to meet the most? I have not met all of them, no. The LEC guys I've met the majority of. In fact, I think I've met everyone from LEC. Yeah, I met everyone from LEC. The NA guys I've met pretty much none of. I've met Latigris. I used to work with Latigris in non-League of Legends stuff. I'm pretty sure I haven't met anyone else from LCS. Oh, Raz. Wait, no. I haven't met Raz in person, but I've spoken a lot to Raz. Like, a few of these guys I've spoken to a lot, but not met. Yeah, I don't know. And then the LCK guys, I technically haven't met Chronicler, but I've spoken to Chronicler a lot. I've spoken to LS a bunch, but I've never met him. I've met Brendan Valdez and Atlas, though. Super nice guys. And I've not met Wolf. I guess LS isn't an LCK caster anymore. Yeah, so I guess that's a vague list of the ones I haven't met. If I wanted to meet any of them, I guess Captain Flowers sounds like a laugh. I'd love to get drunk with that guy. I'd love to meet LS and hang out with him and talk about League of Legends. I feel like he's one of the people that is most passionate about just talking in depth at length about League of Legends, which I really enjoy doing. Yeah, there you go. That's my answer. And that is the last question. All right. This went longer than I expected it to. This is a 30-minute video, so I'm just going to wrap it up quick. Thank you very much for watching. Follow me on Twitter and all that kind of good stuff, I guess. Subscribe, like, comment, blah, blah, blah. If you watched this far, I respect you. That's a full 30 minutes of interest in Munch Ball, so I appreciate you big time. With that said, I'm out of here. I'll see you, I guess, in 2 weeks for the next Ask Munch Anything. Or Ask Munch Mondays. I forgot what I called it, but there you go. That's the end of the episode. Catch you later.